Alright, so when we left off the other day, we just finished up with Genghis Khan and the Mongols. So after Genghis Khan's death, this map shows the expansion of that Mongol Empire. This was the map of Kublai Khan, which was Genghis's grandson. If you remember the other map we looked at, that was the size of Genghis's empire. So his grandson expanded a little bit further west and a little bit further south. So, I mean, it is a huge chunk of land. It is the majority of modern-day Asia. But the problem with this much land is that it's really hard to control and really hard to govern. And what will eventually happen with this Mongol Empire is that the different leaders of each territory are going to start fighting amongst themselves, and it's going to split up into several different provinces. And out of one of those provinces, the Ming Dynasty is going to be formed. Ming Dynasty is one of the longer ones. It does last roughly 500 years or so. But out of that Ming Dynasty is where the capital is going to be moved to modern-day Beijing, and something called the Forbidden City is going to be built. Now, the Forbidden City gets its name because of the limited access that other people had to it. When it was built, construction started in 1406 and was finished 14 years later. It was finished in 1420. But after it was constructed, only the emperor, his family, and invited government officials were allowed to enter it. So it was really just for the emperor, his family, and whatever servants lived on the property. The property itself is 178 acres. Now, if you need to see how big 178 acres is compared to something you're familiar with, this is a map of our school campus. So there's our football field. You're sitting right there. So this is the middle school building, high school building, elementary school, all of that. Everything here in this gray shaded area, that's 178 acres. Okay, so the palace itself is huge. It is the largest ancient palace in the world. As far as what is in the actual palace grounds, or what is inside that 178 acres, there are 90 mini palaces inside of it. There's 980 total buildings. There's about 8,700 rooms. And there's about 1.6 million square footage of floor space. So it is extremely large. This is the satellite view of it. So I think looking here at the satellite view, it doesn't quite look as big as if we look at the satellite view of our campus here. So you kind of keep that in mind when we look at it, that this is that same size. But as far as what is around it, it does have a moat. Okay, so what you see here in this square, that is a moat filled with water. The moat itself is 170 feet wide. That is probably about the width of our hallway. Not the width, the length of our hallway. Now, it's not like a movie or TV show or a cartoon where you saw if somebody had a moat around a castle, there were sharks or alligators or whatever in it. No, that's not the case. The moat is empty, but it is about 15 feet deep. Okay, so it's very wide, very deep, but it's built that way so that if anyone tried to attack the palace, they would have to try to swim that moat. Horses wouldn't be able to get across that moat. So it's just a level of protection that was built in. And then on the other side of the moat right here, all the way around, there was a wall that's between 26 and 30 feet high. So the height of our classroom here, that's probably a 10 or 11 foot ceiling, I would guess. So about 3 times the height of our classroom. Okay, so it was very well fortified. Each corner has a guard tower where soldiers lived in case it was attacked. Our other pictures here are just different portions of the Forbidden City and some of the other buildings. Now, a lot of the colors and things that were used within the city had just symbolic meaning. You're going to notice almost all of the roofs of the buildings are yellow. Yellow was the color of royalty. It was only used for the emperor. Yeah, so construction was finished in 1420. First emperor moved in, and it wasn't open to the public until 1925, I believe. Now today it's there. It's in the capital of Beijing. If you look here in the background, you can see the modern city of Beijing in the background. You can go and tour this today. I think tickets are like $20. You go in, buy a ticket, walk around. Most of the buildings inside of the Great City or the Forbidden City today are pretty much used as a museum. They hold different artifacts from the different dynasties. You go in, tour the buildings, tour the city, and look through the museums. This is a staircase. If you look at the design here in the middle, that's all hand carving. So as we kind of go through and look at some of the stuff here, kind of keep that in mind. That at the time period in which this was built, a lot of stuff's going to be hand carved, hand painted. So if you look at the painting on the different buildings and on the trim and stuff here, that's not the original paint. Okay, obviously that's hundreds of years old, but it has been touched up and refurbished over time. So they've kept the design very similar. They've just updated the paint as it fades and wears out. This is actually a bedroom. Yep, that's a bedroom. A lot of it's gilded. A lot of stuff that looks gold is kind of like we talked about with Egypt, where it was gilded, meaning it was made from wood and then given a gold coating. This is a sitting area and dining hall. Again, if you're looking up here at the ceiling, look how high the ceilings are and how detailed the paint and the tile is here on the ceiling. All that would have been done by hand. This is the Emperor's throne. This would have been the throne room. You can see the chair up there. This is a little bit better look at the moat and the wall on the other side. So in these corner buildings, that's usually where your troops that were guarding the Forbidden City were stationed. And you can kind of see steps leading down here to the moat. They have a little boat here. They could go patrol around the moat if they needed to. Like I said before, a lot of the buildings of the Forbidden City today are used pretty much as a museum. They hold different artifacts from the various dynasties. This is a caravan, but it's meant to carry the emperor around. Emperor would sit in this box, and then people would hold on to these wooden handles or poles on either side and carry him around the Forbidden City. Nope, no wheels. I think I need to build one of these and have you guys carry me around the school in it. That'd be awesome. This is a silk suit that was common amongst royalty for the time period. We'll talk a little bit more about silk tomorrow. Yeah, it's pants and a jacket. But silk was very, very important to the Chinese. It's pretty much what helped build their empire. Like I said, we'll get into more detail about silk later. That's a gold-plated telescope. A gold-gilded table. So again, the table itself is made and carved from wood by hand, and then given that gold coating. And then there's one last shot of the guard tower moat in the wall.